Toronto Raptors Foundation putting together their silent auction with proceeds going to the foundation to help children in need. Gord Cutler, Paul Graham, Dan Glavin, and Forbes, Finn Robertson, a part of our Raptors television network crew today, right here on TSN as the Raptors take on the Cavaliers. First appearance of the Cavs here at the ACC this year. The two teams will hook up in the season finale in just another month, as the Raptors are out to snap a mini slide after losing a couple of ball games against Boston and Detroit. Let's go to Herbie Coon.
For your Toronto Raptors! From Georgia Tech, a 6'10" forward, number 4, Chris Bosh! From Michigan, a 6'8" forward, number 5, Jalen Rose! From Arizona, a 7'2" center, number 3, Lauren Woods! From Michigan State, a 6'7" guard, number 24, Morris Peterson! And from Fresno State, a 6'2" guard, number 11, Reefer Olston! Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of your Toronto Raptors is Sam Mitchell.
All right, for the Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the Raptors looking to put, obviously, some defensive clamps on LeBron James, Rafer Alston, Mo Peterson in the backcourt.
Rafer Alston needs to push the ball up the floor. Raptors have struggled at times against Cleveland, not getting up and down the floor. Jalen Rose, a player that Raptors need to be strong offensively, Chuck. He struggled against Detroit, forcing his offense. And how about Lauren Woods getting the nod in the middle, his length against the big fella from Cleveland, Jonas Ilgauskas.
But Rafael Araujo out with the flu. Eric Snow making his first start since January 29th, only his 5th of the year.
As we said, they're looking for consistency at the point guard position. And LeBron James, incredible numbers, 25 points, 7 assists, 7 boards a game, shooting close to 50% from the field.
And the front court of Newell, Ilgauskas, and Gooden, who's had 31 double-doubles.
And he's played very well against the Toronto Raptors. He's very active, very athletic, and loves to attack the hoop.
And there is Paul Silas, and he is trying to get his ball club back on track. They were once leading the Central Division, and they have really been on a slide of late.
Well, a lot of ups and downs, much like we saw with Paul Silas when he was at New Orleans as well.
There's Sam Mitchell, the head coach of the Raptors, talking with Lauren Woods, and he had a lot of praise for Lauren Woods prior to the ball game, with the reporters saying that the only thing that Lauren Woods lacks right now is confidence, and if he can get enough confidence, then he thinks he's going to be a solid NBA player. IBM winning strategies?
Well, make LeBron the scorer. He makes everybody around him better. Try to put the clamps on his teammates and make LeBron shoot the basketball and put up big numbers. Fight for the paint. Toronto is minus 16 per game in the 2 games against Cleveland. You can't win ball games when you get dominated down low. And how about a defensive effort? Cleveland has averaged 104 points a game and shot better than 50% in the 2 games against the Raptors this season.
And the Raptors are delighted to have that man, CB4, back on the floor.
What a difference. You look at Detroit, 3 of their frontline players had 39 of their 55 rebounds. Not having Chris Bosh there Friday night made an enormous difference.
And LeBron James, a story in today's Akron Beacon Journal, says that some of James' Cavs teammates, unnamed of course, believe he's dribbling too long, forcing too many shots out of double and triple teams.
Oh, he's a young player. He's a franchise player. He's going to have the ball in his hands. If you don't like it, you better find a different team to play on, because this is his team.
Notice how they always say unnamed players.
Exactly.
You got something to say, put your name next to it. Be a man about it.
And Chuck, he's still learning the game. As great a player as he is, his statistics are amazing. He is still learning. He's a young player in this league.
And veteran official Jess Kersey has called a foul. And this will go against Chris Bosh. And our first quarter brought to you by Ford, one of the proud founding sponsors of the Toronto Raptors. Good to have them aboard, sending Ilgauskas to the free throw line. Give us a rundown on Z.
Well, he's a 7-footer, a legitimate 7-footer that has a wonderful stroke, can shoot the ball from all over the floor, yet he can get down, drop step, use either hand around the basket.
And, of course, he's a free agent at the end of the year, which helps.
Yes, it does. And don't forget defensively as well, Chuck. When you have the big guy down there, he doesn't necessarily have to block shots. He can alter and change shots. Just his presence around the basket makes a difference for the Cavs.
Better believe it. 5th in the league in blocks, #1 in the league in offensive rebounding. He is very active around the window. Here's Bosch with the step back in the 16-footer. Nothing but nylon.
I love Chris Bosch's attitude. Hey, one game was way too much to be out. I'm back. I need to play. I'm ready to go.
Eric Snow, veteran guard out of Michigan State. And it's Ilgauskas giving it up to Newble. And this is Gooden, who has played well, 74% against the Raptors in the first 2 games of this series.
He's so tough. As we saw there, he gets down low, really uses his body well. And when he goes up, Chuck, he goes up. He's got great hops around the bucket, very quick.
Peterson working against Ilgauskas, and Jack Nees is called a foul underneath as Mo Pete was moving down that baseline, turned the corner, and Ilgauskas commits the foul.
Well, this is a good read by Mo. Once he gets here, he knows he's got nowhere to go, but try to get under the big fella and draw the foul, using the body, extending to the hoop.
Peterson at the free throw line, where he's shooting 82% as a team. The Raptors 15th in the association. Peterson coming in, averaging 11 points for Sam Mitchell's unit.
Well, Chuck, as they did Friday night against Detroit, the Raptors are a team when they share the ball, attack the basket, get dribble penetration, drive and kicks. They are a pretty good offensive team. You have scouts that come in and look at the Raptors and say, you know what, it's scary how easily they can score and how good an offensive team they are. But at times they just forget how they're doing it. They got to avoid those droughts.
Newble short on the jumper. Raptor ball at a 2-on-2, 3-on-2. Alston goes cross court. Rose from 15. Rimming. Good. Oh, Dylan Rose, a kind roll.
Shooters bounce. Arc rotation. You give it a chance. It's all you ask for, Chuck. Just give that ball a chance.
And you know what? In the box score, it looks like nothing but net.
Exactly.
James has elected not to shoot here early in the quarter, giving it up to teammates. Good with a line drive jump hook.
Well, in the last game at Cleveland, LeBron James played exactly the same way, Chuck. In the first half, he was a non-factor scoring, but he had rebounds, he had assists, got everybody involved in the game.
Bosch. Weak side rebound with those long arms. Wood battling for the ball, along with Newble and Ilgauskas, Toronto basketball.
You know, with Hoffa not being able to play today, it almost works out better against the Cleveland Cavaliers to have Lauren Woods, because he's got the length and quickness, and Sam Mitchell knows he can play with confidence against Ilgauskas.
Rose with the turnaround. Gooden grabs
That's
the rebound.
the cylinder right there.
Yes, it was.
Aggressive rebound by Gooden, but he was definitely taking that ball out of the cylinder.
Paul Sykes. He's had some stops dating back to the old San Diego Clippers.
I'm sure there's a little heat coming his way right now as well. And I kind of made the remark earlier that when you look at New Orleans, the way they played when he was coaching, they had a lot of mood swings with that team for a team that had talent and size. And you're seeing a little bit of that with Cleveland right now. And I'm sure people are asking questions regarding that.
Rayford giving it up to Peterson. Peterson had the ball poked out of his hands. Excellent defense by Newble. And it's Snow with the push. Gooden. Shot rejected. Gooden recovers. And it went off Toronto out of bounds.
And a nice job by the Raptors to get back defensively. Lauren Woods stretching out and getting the block. Just hustling back right there. Lauren Woods puts himself in a position to get the block, and Rafer Alston digging it out as well.
It's James on a slip cut, and they go underneath. Double teamed as Newble. Did he walk? Yes, he did. Got this right there.
I like the way the Raptors are collapsing right now. Everybody's getting into the paint, making themselves big, surrounding the ball, and they're forcing turnovers.
Well, the Cavaliers, Leo, after their loss to Philadelphia, had a players-only meeting. Now, you've been a few of those. What happens?
Chuck, it's a lot of talk. You have way too many players meetings and closed doors meetings. You know what? Guys know what they need to do. You got to get out and play, and you got to bring the effort at both ends. And on the other hand, when you have a players-only meeting, you have to wonder why, what they're discussing behind the coach's back.
See, I think
how much the coach
about
is a
the
part of
bracket.
that.
I think they're saying, hey, you know, we're going to Toronto and routing Syracuse. Orange got beat by Vermont. That's what I think they were really discussing.
Now, you know, I was having a good day, Chuck. I was having a good day, until you brought that up.
Well, you are having a good day because it's your birthday, Leo. So happy birthday. This has been quite a year.
Yeah, it's been good so far.
It's been a great year for you. Toronto has scored the last 8 points in a 2-minute fashion. 10-3 Raptors.
Every birthday I'm spending with you, Chuck, is a great birthday.
James running on the baseline with a floater, grazed the right rim. Newble and James battling, and Cleveland reloads. Cavaliers 1 for 6 to start the game. LeBron got it.
He just has this air of confidence about him. He looked down at Ray Ralston and kind of smirked at him and go, "You can't cover me."
And there's Ray for ringing up from downtown Tilsonburg. Goes out to Chris Schuster right here on TSN.
Tilsonburg, you're all over the map, Chuck.
Yes, we are. Well, you were in Halifax yesterday.
Yes, I was watching the CIS semifinals. Had a great evening there.
LeBron filling it up again. You think LeBron could play in the CIS?
This young man can play anywhere he wants.
Peterson with a wicked crossover, and there's the J.
I like that, Chuck. You don't want to let LeBron rest at the defensive end of the floor. You want to make him work every time he's out there, every minute.
15-7 Toronto. Here's Ilgauskas with that patented mid-range jumper, short. Gooden cannot control out of bounds. Raptors 5 of 6 to start the game. And they lead Cleveland by 8. Cavaliers play 4 of their next 5 on the road, Leo.
And that's been a tough place for him, losing 8 straight, as we pointed out. Not a good pass there. Got to get it up.
Here's LeBron to the rack, and he's fouled and will shoot 2. Better than a highlight. Master dunk.
And Raptors getting back. They may have made the mistake and turned the ball over, but Sam Mitchell's team getting back, doing a good job of hustling. LeBron James so good protecting the ball, sees the defender, sees that help defender coming over, but keeps that ball on his outside hip and brings it up at the last second where he can draw the foul and get to the line.
When LeBron James dunks, he dunks. I mean, he's got a repertoire, and that's why he's a masterful jammer.
Remember when Dominique Wilkins was in the league, and when he dunked, he appeared like as if he was still going up every time he dunked. His head was still rising. LeBron James gives you that same feel, the same perception when he's dunking.
15-9 Raps. 7:18 remaining first quarter. And it's Rose, hounded by Newble. Has a rep of being a good defender in this league. Bosh, he can take Gooden. The turnaround, short.
Chris, you don't know how his back's feeling right now, Chuck. Maybe a little tender, but I'd like to see him take advantage of his first step and attack Gooden going to the basket.
Gooden wants to play the power game with Bosh.
Tough shot.
Drew Gooden has certainly found a home here in Cleveland.
Well, he gets plenty of opportunities to do his thing. He's not restricted. They allow him a lot of freedom at the offensive end. As long as he rebounds and does the little things, they will give him his shots.
Bosh again matched up with Gooden, just pounding away. Double pump, now forces up the jumper. And it's Lauren Woods along with James, and LeBron keeps it in play.
Keeps it in play, then immediately runs down the floor, tries to get position.
And those were just baby hops there, Leo. Seemed like he was in midair forever. LeBron forces it up. Not a good decision by LeBron James. Toronto ball.
Well, not a bad one either, though, Chuck. He forced a shot, but he got inside the paint. Look who was on either side. He had Ilgauskas and Gooden there, and he also had forward momentum to possibly get his own miss. Fortunately, the Raptors get the ball, but not a bad chance or a gamble to take.
James 2 for 5 of the ball game. Here's Rafer for 3. Yes! And Rafer Alston with 6 on a couple of trays.
This is one of those starts for the Raptors, Chuck. Shooting close to 70%. Don't turn the ball over. When you're on fire, make sure you get a shot every time down.
James from 20. Raptor ball. And we're going to have a blocking call against Eric Snow.
Eric Snow, he was convinced he had that. He anticipated Jalen Rose driving. Michael Henderson, the official, saying, not this time.
We'll be right back on TSN. Chuck Swirsky, Leo Relton's Vic Rounder filling in for the Aileen Normal-Wick. And Leo, let's go to our Gatorade Game X Factor. You took the tractor, the diesel, the mini diesel compared to Shaq, Robert Traylor. And I took Lauren Woods.
Well, Chuck, I like the bulk on my pick right there. Traylor's had some good games against the Raptors. On February 8th, 15 points, 13 rebounds, 7 of 8 from the field.
And his fuel is Chuck's chips. Had to give him the cooks before the game. There's Robert Traylor.
I'm sure Paul Silas is really happy about that. Trying to get him slim down, and you're giving him cookies.
And Lauren Woods was my Gatorade Game X Factor today because of his start, his first since really late December against Phoenix on the 29th. He has not played in 10 of the last 13 games. So we'll see what he can do today. But he has played Ilgauskas tough on the block.
Again, it's a good matchup for him. Sam Mitchell really has nothing to lose by throwing Lauren Woods out there, and hopefully gets a good game out of him. 5
of the clock. Peterson working against LeBron James. Bucket, a 3-ball right in the mug of King James. Mo Pete with 7.
That's a tough shot. That's a real tough shot. It looks easy, but you don't really have the same rhythm as you do on a normal jump shot when you pause and then try to go right into the defender's face like that.
Lazy pass by James, who has not played well here in the quarter. And it's Peterson with the steal.
So important to keep your hands up and active. A simple play like that forces a turnover.
Peterson again, the feel, the flow. Rimming out. Rebound Gooden. The Cavaliers, desperate for a road victory, have come out flat here in Toronto. Snow, his pass, knocked out of bounds by the Raps. He's good to Vic.
Interestingly, Leo, one of the things that Coach Mitchell was saying is exactly that you pointed out. They would like to attack under the basket, get more into the paint. But, again, the outside shot is available to them.
Yeah, that's the dilemma, Vic. You start making a couple of shots, you get comfortable with that, and you forget that really you want to continue to try to look to get into the paint. When the Raptors do that, they're at their best.
4 of 13 now for the Cavaliers. They cannot buy a bucket. And the Raptors taking advantage, leading by 10 first quarter. Alston with a runner. Nope. Rebound Cleveland.
Again, just like that LeBron gamble we talked about earlier. Good shot to take as Lauren Woods was right there. Unfortunately, he missed time to rebound.
A 3-on-2. Peterson with the facial of the Cavaliers. Mo Pete with the mojo. He's got 9.
Love that, Chuck.
Oh, man.
Mo Pete going up strong right in the grill of LeBron James.
23-11 Raptors. Here's LeBron, mano against mano on a reverse and a soft layup. Now that is athleticism.
Quick first step.
Woods beating Ilgauskas down the floor. Double on the ball. Jalen Rose rimmed out.
A nice effort by Lauren Woods to track that ball down and not make a mistake and find the open man.
LeBron again going strong to the cup, but he's fouled, and we'll get to.
You can tell LeBron didn't take a lot of good feelings out of that dunk from Mo Pete. He's come back aggressively twice now for a little payback.
Danielle Marshall, he has been outstanding for the Raptors. 21 threes in the past 3 games. Lauren Woods will take a seat.
Remember the Detroit game Friday night? Started out, knocked down some threes. As expected, Detroit said, hey, we've seen the scouting report. We've seen what you've been doing. They went at him, took the threes away, and all of a sudden Danielle Marshall's moving without the ball. He's scoring around the basket, getting on the offensive board, and that's what makes him special, Chuck. He can score in a variety of ways, and at his size, when he does hit that three, he extends the defense out, pulls all the big guys away from the bucket.
And as you know, Leo, it has been published that before the trading deadline, the Cavaliers were making a strong pitch for Danielle Marshall.
As were, I am told, the Houston Rockets, the Spurs, the Miami Heat, a lot of the better teams in the league wanted his services.
James, no. Storyline on James in the first quarter, 3 of 8. He's got 9 points and 3 boards. Alston covered by Sasha Pavlovich, now in a curl and a pull-up, Jalen Rose. And he can get that every possession against Eric Snow. He's got a good 5 inches on Eric Snow.
And didn't play around with the ball. As soon as he got it, he felt the defender, went right into the middle.
And those two were matched up in the Big Ten when Snow and Sean Respert were the backcourt against the Fab Five.
So Sean Respert, another former Raptor.
The Raptors are really playing Cleveland tough interior D. And on that note, Gooden just breaks it down.
Bad gamble there. Daniel Marshall went high and allowed the baseline just a little bit too easy for Gooden.
That's only their 4th point in the paint. They have really done a terrific job, the Raptors have, on Ilgauskas.
I see the difference, Chuck? You take a little bit more time. Eric Snow is physical. He's got quick hands. And at the other end, LeBron able to get to the line. But the previous move, Rose was quick, going to the basket, a little bit more time, forced a turnover.
Mo Peterson has dominated first quarter for the Raptors, pouring in 9. We'll be right back on TSN. Appreciate you joining us right here on TSN for the Raptors. And coming up next, also on TSN, the CIS basketball men's final, Carleton against Concordia. And the head coach of the men's national program here in Canada, my main man Leo Routens, was in Halifax yesterday. Leo, you saw some great hoops.
Yeah, I saw a great semifinal game between Carleton and St. FX. Coach Konchalski's team falling a little short to Dave Smart and the Carleton Ravens, but I'll tell you what, this should be a great game today. John Doerr with Concordia, his team plays hard. They're aggressive, undersized, but they really come after you, play good ball. And of course, Dave Smart's team, 76 wins in a row, Chuck. It's unbelievable. Wow. Back-to-back Canadian championships, going for the 3rd, and a team that also plays with a lot of intensity and a lot of intelligence.
As Pop So coming into the ball game now for the Raptors with James at the free throw line. Leo, with your schedule, I think, and I'll tell you what, I'm not trying to patronize you. I thought it was great that you took it on your day off to go there. I think it sent a strong message to the coaches and the players in that community as far as Canadian basketball is concerned.
Chuck, it's a great opportunity to see some outstanding Canadian players. The Canadian college program, I think, is getting better and better. And, of course, some great coaches doing an outstanding job, and especially the several that I mentioned. Steve Konchalski, John Doerr, Dave Smart, real top-notch coaches.
Well, good for you and good for those programs, both the winning teams and the teams that participated as well.
Some great crowds out there in Halifax, too, Chuck. About 6,000 to 7,000 people, everybody into the game.
Marshall, left pocket. And Pavlovich with the rebound, 25-18 Raptors. So on the floor, along with Marshall, Peterson, Rose, and Alston. And the J is good.
It's a tough shot when the offensive player gets down and turns that little baby hook right into your face. All it does is force the defender to get on his heels and get his face out of the way, and he has no way to block it.
Cleveland on a 6-0 spurt, 25-20 Raptors. Alston is going to go to the free throw line with 2. This is great for Alston at his best. I mean, when he's got space, he will jack up the 3, but the Raptors want him to penetrate, and if it's not there, to give it up.
Well, especially when you see that the weak side, the help defense is really moving slowly for Cleveland right now. Pavlovich cannot guard Alston. Alston looked up, he saw Ilgauskas really didn't have great position, went right at him. And Sam Mitchell wants his guys to do that on a regular basis. Attack the basket and get people moving.
So Rayford splits a pair. Raptor lead is at 6. We'll be right back here at the Air Canada Center on Wednesday with the Chicago Bulls before the Raptors leave for 5 straight on the road. James, power move, and he missed the dunk, hit back rim. And he will get 2.
Big time effort on the offensive end, but I also like the competition here on D. Pop So going up saying, hey, I know who you are, LeBron, but you know what? I'm trying to get some more minutes on this ball club, and you bring it in here, I'm coming after you.
I'm digging it, Leo. I love it. You know what? I'm not going to be on a poster. Put him on the line.
That's one of the things about this young man that I'm really impressed with. Even though it's LeBron James, Pop So is going to come in there. Look at that. Heads up play, going up strong, and he's a physical player, very raw. He still has a lot to develop in his game, but he plays hard. He's not afraid to go after every rebound and anybody going to the bucket.
And the toss is good. LeBron James starting to cook after a rather slow start. Already 8 trips to the free throw line here in the quarter, and he has 13. 26-22 Toronto.
That's what great players do, Chuck. When they're not hitting their shots, they get to the line. They find a way to score.
And I think Jalen really wants to light up Pavlovich.
I think anybody that's been by Pavlovich, whether it's Alston or Rose, are going to
talking about coming out of retirement?
No.
28-22 Raptors. You could be a player coach.
No, thank you. Your knees hurt a lot less when you're just coaching.
Snow to Ilgauskas with a dunk. That was his first field goal of the quarter. after a Raptor turnover. Rafer receives the play from head coach Sam Mitchell. Let's see what develops here.
I think it has something to do with Pavlovic again.
I think you're right.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, Chuck.
And it's Jalen Rose. Another attempt by Marshall.
See, everybody knew what was going to happen. They knew that Rose was going to attack Pavlovic. All of a sudden, Sal's there, Daniel Marshall's there, and that's the way to play it. It gives you a great opportunity to get the rebound when you know what's happening out there with your offense.
Cleveland will close out the quarter with 5 seconds remaining against Mo Peterson. This is the matchup. They want LeBron James with a rock. And a deep three.
Oh, my.
And that ends the first quarter of play. LeBron James.
Yeah, LeBron James, slow start, but how about finishing the quarter with 16?
Welcome back. Speed Stick Biomed first quarter stats from TSN. And Leo Rounds. Leo, what do you got for us?
Well, Raptors doing a great job shooting the ball, 55%. Cleveland warming up, they're around 47%. But LeBron James getting to the line more than the Raptors himself, 8 times. And during that last break, the trainer for the Cleveland Cavaliers was spending a little time working on the thumb, the right thumb of LeBron James. Don't know where he hurt it. We didn't see him get hurt. Although our crack staff, Chuck, seems to have found it. Maybe on that missed dunk attempt right there on the rim, LeBron James could have banged it up.
Are you saying that Gord Cutler and Paul Graham are cracked?
No, I'm saying that they're just so good at finding the little details of this game.
Jalen off the mark. Ilgauskas with a board. Well, you know what? I applaud Paul Silas. Instead of putting James on the bench for the second unit to play, leave him on the floor. He's got 16.
Oh, he plays 41 minutes a game. He's obviously shown a great deal of durability all season long.
Rose, along with Daniel Marshall, Milt Palacio, Popsno, and Matt Bonner. And it's a 3-ball. You can book it. Daniel Marshall. He has become automatic.
A look of frustration on the face of Paul Silas. How do you forget about a guy that's bearing 1 3 after another, night in and night out?
Ilgauskas. They go in the paint. Gooden got away with a walk. Baker, you got to be kidding me. Counted in a foul. He just threw it up, hoping that that ball would somehow touch iron.
That's all you have to do, Chuck. Once you hear that whistle, get it up to the basket any way you can. And Drew Gooden just muscling this ball and knifing in between Sal and Marshall. And a little hard, but he got the bounce. Drew Gooden enjoying that shot.
Probably not enjoying what happened over the weekend with his Kansas Jayhawks. Very similar to your Syracuse Orange.
See, I knew that was coming. You couldn't have just stuck with the Kansas debacle, right? You had to go into the Syracuse side of that. I know my pool is toast. So.
Here is Bonner, a 3-ball. Good! Get out the umbrellas, Leo. It's raining trays here in Toronto. And for the Raptors, that's their best.
There's some great threats with Daniel Marshall on one side, Matt Bonner on the other. You got to make a decision. Who are you going to play?
Rose for the steal. It's a 3-on-1. Palacio, thumb of the ball. And it went off. No out of bounds. A wasted trip down the court for the Raptors. The lead by 6.
A player coming into the game right now for Cleveland, Anderson Varejo.
Yeah,
he's a player. Thank you for the correction there. I won't worry about your Lithuanian from this point on. What he does, he didn't play against the Raptors last time out. He's just an energy, hustle guy that they need to be successful. He comes in, he makes a lot of things happen out there. Real scrappy guy. Let's see what kind of effect he's going to have.
Our second quarter brought to you by Nissan. Friendly folks from Nissan. I have a lot of graduates from Vermont that work at Nissan. Here's Bonner.
Oh, my.
Marshall again. Hit back iron, kept alive by Palacio. And here is Bonner. And it's Pavlovic leading the break. Yuri Walsh, a seldom used player who's acquired from Boston for a future #1, LeBron James. There's Pop So getting a lot of playing time here, Leo.
You know, he's playing aggressive, Chuck. He deserves some playing time. He's really going after the shooters and the ball every time it comes off the rim. And, you know, a little too aggressive right there, but you know, you got to allow him to make a few mistakes, Chuck. He's working so hard on the defensive end. Now see, he went right at LeBron again. LeBron looked at him and said, no, you're not going to get it. But this kid will not back away. And he's not just trying to foul hard. He's trying to make a play. He's trying to get the ball.
And Jess Kersey, the official, is having a conversation right now with Pop So.
Well, Pop So saying, hey, I got the ball. And Jess is saying, yeah, but you got the body as well. So your body's going up against LeBron's, and he's a superstar. You're just trying to get minutes. Don't mess with me, kid. When I make the call, just say thank you, sir. Give me another one.
Well, Jess Kersey, the official, is the official who tossed out the mascot, the Coyote of San Antonio, the other day.
Right. Coyote was a little off the wall there.
Well, the Coyote was trying to get involved with Wally Zerbiak and Bowen and...
Well, Chuck, I know you had a few flare-ups of some of the mascots around the league. It's not a pretty sight. I've seen you take a few of them out. So it's fortunately Jess Kersey stepped in before something bad happened.
Well, you know, when you start getting after the Sasquatch in Seattle or Hugo, and that man was an outstanding NBA player. For those of you who never followed the NBA game of the 60s and 70s, Paul Silas, better bring the A game with him on the boards.
Yeah, offensive rebounds especially. He could get in there with the best of them.
Rose to Palacio to Marshall. This time he's putting it on the floor. Bonner wide open. Bam! The two-ball. Not Bonner.
See, that's the luxury of putting two three-point threats on the same side of the floor. Daniel Marshall drawing the defense by putting the ball, taking it to the basket. Wide open jumper for Bonner.
After a James miss, 4-on-3. Rhodes had the ball stripped out of his hands, picked up by LeBron James against Bonner. Pavlovich. James with a slam.
Raptors coming right back.
Rose for three. Yes! Big money, Jalen Rose.
That's the way to do it, Chuck. Raptors gave up a bucket, but they were able to come right back. But this, they have to stop right here.
LeBron James is filling up the stat sheet. He's got 22 in the half.
He's just looking back at the crowd right now, looking at the Raptors, say, hey, you want to run? I'm game. You're not getting back. I'm taking it.
41-36 Raptors. What a show today on TSN.
Chris Bosh on the bench during the timeout. He, like so many, admire, of course, LeBron James. Has had the opportunity, obviously, to play against him, but has also played with him in All-Star games.
The thing I like most about him, you know, playing with him in the rookie sophomore challenges, he's real vocal. He's a good leader, and that's what I like most about him. You know, it's a lot of people who can run, jump, you know, pass the ball, be amazing, but he has the characteristics of a leader. You know, he talks, he's vocal, he's you know, always positive and picking guys up, and I can just see that. That's what I liked about him the most.
And LeBron James so far 22 points. The season high and a half against the Raptors, 25. Twice, the last time, Kobe Bryant had 25 in the first half. That was late December.
All right, Vic, thank you. LeBron James, Leo, went 3 for 20 against Philadelphia, and Chris Bosh admiring the work, obviously, of LeBron James. He had been averaging 35 a game, James, in the previous 3.
Right, and again, I think teams are forcing James to shoot the ball a lot more to keep his teammates from getting involved in the game, but it's becoming a little too easy for LeBron right now, with the Raptors not getting back like they did in the first quarter. But I like what Chris Bosh picked out about LeBron, Chuck, talking about the fact he communicates, he gives everybody's a talker, and that is a sign of a leader. And fortunately for the Raptors leader, Chris Bosh, it's a great opportunity to learn and see a guy like LeBron firsthand and try to pick up some of those traits.
And Bosh pushed in the back by Barajo. So the Raptors inbounding here. 7:55 remaining first half on TSN. 41-37. Raptors over the Cavaliers. Mo Peterson tossed in 9 in the opening quarter, including an emphatic dunk on a facial. Peterson now with 1 on the clock and no call against Lucius Harris. I thought there was contact. I thought Harris bit on that pump.
Now, I like that no call there. No argument from Sam Mitchell. Jack Nees said, hey, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to draw a foul, but it wasn't a real good effort. Even though there was some contact, a lot of it was so much initiated by Mo Pete. Good no call.
41-37 Raptors. Let's see how you feel when you're coaching on the sideline.
What do you mean you're not making a call? Oh, wow. This is the danger of getting a guy going like LeBron, Chuck. 25 points. All those trips to the free throw line. Build up that confidence level.
You are looking at greatness right now in LeBron James. And Peterson on his pass deflected, apparently by a Cavalier. LeBron James with 26 here in the half. 26.
Chuck, I've been around players like LeBron that, and what Chris Bosh mentioned, they step on the floor and they own the floor. Everything about it, it's their game. They own the floor. And it's an interesting feeling being around players like that.
Donyell Marshall with 8 points in the ball game. 44-40. Fury Walsh, who's been traded 4 times in 2.5 years, fouled in the lane by Matt Bonner. Well, why is this guy bounced around, Leo? He appears to have some pretty good skills.
No, he does. He knows how to play the game. He's got the shot. He plays smart basketball when he's on the floor, works at the defensive end. But he's really struggled since he came over to Cleveland. I think they wanted him to kind of provide a little balance on the floor with LeBron. But Paul Silas just said that just too much pressure that he put on himself to perform in front of the crowd at Cleveland. As soon as he got there, he's kind of dug himself a little hole and hasn't been able to get out of it.
He was fighting for minutes with Harris and Pavlovich. And on draft day, Cleveland wanted to trade their 10th pick to Boston for Walsh, and Boston said no. And so then the two teams hooked up near the trading deadline, and Boston is going to receive the Cavaliers' first pick in the 2006 draft. Marshall. He loves Sunday afternoon ball games, folks. Another triple for Donyell Marshall. That's his 3rd of the game. Remember, a week ago, he had 12.
Paul Silas wants a timeout. He can't believe that the Raptors are getting these great looks for Donyell Marshall.
TSN President Choice Bowl returns after this. And tonight, 7:30 Eastern Time on TSN, the NBA on TSN. The Rockets on the road against Minnesota. And Minnesota needs to get their act together. And that guy has his act together big time. Donyell made his first start of the season Friday at the Palace and filled up the Pistons with a double-double of 25 and 12. And once again, Donyell is just on fire here at the Air Canada Center. Shooting threes, Leo.
Yeah, he's just picking up right where he left off. And right now his teammates are doing a great job of finding him. And somehow, and I don't know how, the Cleveland Cavaliers have no idea where he is on the floor. 3 of 5 from behind the arc. He's got 11 already.
Harris comes off the screen. Well, Leo, how can you leave? I mean, we've seen this now happen. Whether it was a week ago in Philadelphia, here today. Why don't they just have somebody play man-to-man and not drift off?
Well, they are playing man-to-man, but what happens is you're putting big guys on them. As Donyell Marshall is one of the big guys for the Raptors. Nice job by Chris Bosh. And big guys do not want to come out that far away from the basket. And the Raptors are also putting Donyell, well, they're not comfortable. You're taking them out of their comfort zone. And Donyell is also put on the same side of the floor with somebody that can dribble, penetrate, or is another threat to shoot, say like a Matt Bonner. As a result, the defense has to make decisions, and they're making the wrong ones right now, and Donyell's getting his shots.
Donyell Marshall with 11 points off the bench. You realize, Leo, in this game, as the Raptors lead 48-41, only 4 Cavalier players have scored, and really that's being kind because Walsh off the bench with 1 point.
Yeah, and I think that's good for the Raptors. LeBron James, the way he's going, Chuck, may end up scoring 40, 50 points in this game, but I think the Raptors will win that game. So it's very important for the Raptors. Make it a little tougher for LeBron. Not quite as easy, but keep him as the scorer and keep everybody else at bay and continue to do the things they can do on offense, and could be a good ball game.
And the last time I checked, it was at the end of the game with the scoreboard that mattered, not how many points an individual.
Chuck, I've watched a lot of games. The team that scores the most points usually wins.
I'll put that down there. You know, Leo, that's why we pay you the big bucks.
No, I'm telling you, Chuck, I'm serious. I've watched a lot of games. Once it was close. The team that did score the most points did win that one, too.
LeBron with a 3-ball jack.
See, that's what I'm saying. Right now, Sam Mitchell, he wants everybody to get up and take that shot away. Let's see what Vic has for us.
That's exactly, Leo, what Sam Mitchell said during the break. He wants get up in his face, then overload down low. And if he drives, then he runs into the wall of Raptors. Right now, it's all too easy, and they're being beaten by just one player, LeBron James.
Exactly. He's good enough to get his points, but you can't make it any easier than it's been for LeBron.
Good. And we've got a foul on Toronto. Well, I guess LeBron, after going 3 for 20 against Philadelphia, didn't sit too well with King James, and he said, you know what, if I put the team on my back, we got to get into the playoffs.
Well, and that's another trait of a great player, Chuck. What they do after a bad game, how do they recover? What do they put on the floor? And you know that if LeBron has a 3 for 20 game, he has so much pride in his game. He knows how important it is, or his play, how important it is to his team, that he will step up and come right back.
Gooden now with 12 points in the ball game. It's hard to believe that LeBron James is 20.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And he's a young 20. I mean, just December 31st.
And not only does he have a game that's unlike any 20-year-old I've ever seen, but his body. I mean, he is not built like a 20-year-old. Yeah. He's got a mature, athletic body. He's very, very strong and can pretty much do anything he wants to on the floor physically.
And he is the face of the NBA. I mean, his #1 jersey seller, whether it's this maroon jersey, the home white, or the retro gold and wine and gold of the mid-70s. 3 on the clock. James giving it up to Harris on a pump, the release from 18. Did that ball ever hit the rim?
Yep.
Here's LeBron. No. Here's Palacio. He's got a couple of trailers behind him. Bonner from the pocket. Ilgauskas, great hustle along with Marshall. 51-45 Raptors. Again, Eric Snow with the start, his first since late January, only the 5th of the year.
Ilgauskas, he's only had 5 shots in this game, Chuck, just 1 of 5, but he's not in the comfort zone right now. This guy is.
Drew Gooden with 14 points, 6 rebounds.
Shooting great percentage as well. He's 6 of 8 right now.
And he is in the top 20 in field goal percentage at 50%. Bosch with a power move. Marshall again open. You got to be kidding me. You know what? I mean, if I'm the owner right now or the general manager, you got to. I'm saying, hey, send a text message to their bench.
But Raptors are recognizing what needs to be done. Bosch going right into Ilgauskas. That's too easy right there. Fortunately, Snow misses. But Bosch goes to Ilgauskas. He knows who's got the hot hand, and they make an effort to try to get him the ball when help comes over. But Daniel Marshall's man cannot be the help man, Chuck. Cleveland's got to figure that one out.
Chris against Ilgauskas and slapped and fouled by Z.
And if he wasn't fouled going to the hoop, he may have been able to throw the ball to Marshall again, who was wide open.
Raptors hanging tough, folks. They've got a 7-point lead over the Cavaliers. President Choice Raptors Bowl, our next 3 games. Rogers Sportsnet, Raptors NBA TV, with the Bulls coming to town. Friday, Leonard will be in Philadelphia for the Sixers and the Raptors, and then in Atlanta the next night on TSN against the Hawks. We have not seen Jeff McGinnis, the veteran guard from North Carolina. And he's talking right there with the equipment manager.
Well, as we said, Silas looking for a little consistency, and he wasn't getting it from Jeff McGinnis. And Chuck, Jeff McGinnis, I thought, was one of the keys to the turnaround in Cleveland, along with LeBron James. Once he came over to Cleveland in midseason last year, he made an enormous difference with the play, with the energy, the ability to get up and down the floor. And sometimes you want to sit a guy down and say, hey, you know what you're doing is not working anymore. We need you to play the way you played before. You got to get your head on straight, bring the focus back. And I think that's what Paul Silas is trying to accomplish right now.
All right, with Bosch at the free throw line, let's go to Vic Browder.
Well, Coach Mitchell much happier with the defense on James. He says, look, get up in his face. You've got to trust your defense behind you, that the people are going to be down low. And then the other players, he has nowhere to go. So much happier with what they're doing on James.
Well, Sam Mitchell knows that he, like I said, he can be a great player. He can do a lot, but you have to just try to make it as difficult as possible. No open looks, no uncontested shots.
James with 29 points, 10 of 11 from the free throw line. He's attempted 16 shots here in the half. James, no offensive rebound, and it's Gooden off window. Drew Gooden, who's been a load against the Raptors. We gave you the stat line against Gooden against Toronto this season, averaging 17 points, 10 boards, 74%.
Well, he's got 16 and 7 right now, and you know, a little too easy. Raptors again, he got LeBron James taking a tough shot. You force the miss, you have to get the rebound.
Bosh, wheels, deals, no. Off the hands of Gooden, picked up by Peterson. Here's Danielle Marshall. Now he has been hot.
See if Rafer penetrates or a little pick and roll here with Danielle Marshall. Maybe free him up for another shot.
And that's exactly what they want to occur here. Alston with a floater, way off the mark. And Snow's got Gooden open, and Drew Gooden with a layup, rimmed out, rebound to 7-3 Ilgauskas, and the putback. 55-51 Raptors. It's the bend but not break rule for Toronto. Cleveland's made some mini runs here, but the Cavaliers just can't get over the top.
Well, they better start playing some defense themselves, Chuck. Raptors are better than 50% in this ball game, and they're continuously getting good looks. Ooh. That ball not intended for Bosh.
And a shot clock violation. No, I don't think Chris was expecting it.
No, it wasn't for him. It was the ball was heading to Rafer Alston. It was coming up towards the top of the key. Bosh cut down the middle, got his hands on it. Fortunately, was able to hang on to it.
Raptors uncharacteristically with their 8th turnover, Leo. They lead the association with only 13.
And we talked about that. When you're shooting as well as you're shooting in today's game for the Raptors, you don't want to be giving up 12 points off turnovers. And then again, not only you got to deal with James, you got to figure out how to stop this guy. Drew Gooden is just having a field day himself.
Combination of Gooden and James have combined for 47 of the Cavaliers' 53 points. Jalen Rose over Lucius Harris. Weak side rebound. Cleveland, it's James. Eric Snow. LeBron James with a runner off the rim.
And again, Raptors lucky. Gooden right on it. Just couldn't hold on to it.
Marshall again for 3. In and out. That ball was all the way down the cylinder.
Can't get any closer than that.
There's about a 1.5-second difference with the shot clock, game clock, so we have 10 ticks left on the shot clock with Eric Snow just eating some time, ready to give it up to LeBron James. And a screen and roll coming up with Ilgauskas. On a switch, James for 3. Rose collects the ball, and at the end of the half, a 55-53 lead in favor of the Raptors, who led at one stage by 12.
And Danielle Marshall doing an outstanding job. Our Nissan shift of the half. Danielle with 14 points. Getting some great looks from behind the arc. His teammates making that extra pass, extra effort to locate him every time down the floor. Because when Danielle Marshall gets in one of those grooves, you know it can mean nothing but good things for Toronto.
Well, Sunday afternoon certainly agree with Danielle Marshall. Here's Vic Browder.
Yeah, Danielle continues to hit the 3, and as the team goes to the room up by a couple, the LeBron James factor. Coach Mitchell says, look, you got to get in his face. But that's not easier said than done, it appears.
Well, he's playing real good right now. He's hitting shots. You know, he's been struggling of late. And, you know, today's the game. He's just coming out hot. We got to help Mo Pete. Mo Pete's doing a good job. But we got to help Mo. He can't do it by himself.
And when the coach says you got to trust your teammates?
Definitely. That's what the team's for, building trust. And, you know, like I said, he's doing a good job. He just got to trust that we're going to be back there to help him.
Daniel, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thanks very much, Vic and Danielle. We'll return to halftime coming up with a feature on King James right here on TSN.
2:55-53 as we get ready to start the second, joined by assistant coach Jim Todd, and it's the James factor. I was listening to you and Coach Mitchell. You've got to make it harder on him to get the points.
I mean, him and Drew Gooden have 47 out of 53 points. It's something that we are obviously quite aware of. We've talked about it before the game. We talked about it every time out. We're trying to overload a little bit more, and you know, we tell our guys boxes and elbows. We want to double them and try to get the ball out of his hands. That's supposed to be the plan. It hasn't worked so far. So we hopefully made a little adjustment at halftime. We talked about it. We lost our momentum a little. We're up 12. Kind of thought we limped in at the half, so we got to build on that. Second half, we got to come out and try to stop their fast break. They've been breaking on us a little bit. We got to slow them down as far as that's concerned. And then our threes. So we've hit 9 of them. That's usually we live and die by that 3.
That's it. You only have 8 in the paint.
And 1 didn't count, right? Yeah. We don't get a lot of points in the paint. But, hopefully we can hit a couple more threes and stay in this thing and get the momentum going.
Coach, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks.
Here, cheers.
All right, thanks very much, Vic. And let's talk about LeBron James.
Well, LeBron James, monster numbers, 29 points, 10 of 11 from the free throw line, 5 boards. And, one of the things that we talked about, Chuck, off the top in our IBM winning strategies is making LeBron James the scorer so other teammates don't get involved in a game. Now, you got to make it a little tougher than the Raptors have made it. Everybody's made that clear. And you can't let Drew Gooden get 18 in the first half. That doesn't work. Fight for the paint. Well, points in the paint. Cleveland, big advantage there, plus 12 already. And a defensive effort. Well, Cavs 9-22 in the second quarter. But fast break points. Raptors did a real good job of starting out early, getting back. But the Cavaliers 11-2 in fast break points at this point. Raptors have to do a better job.
So it's LeBron James, and then you have more LeBron James, and you have more LeBron James.
Again, Chuck, I like the idea that the Raptors are making him the scorer. You just don't want him putting up monster numbers too easily. For example, an open shot like we saw right there. Every shot has to be contested. Every shot has to be challenged. If you do that, you're going to have other players become non-factors, primarily Ilgauskas and company. Now, you see the numbers. Raptors shooting about 47%. Great job from 3, 9 of 15. Free throws, obviously Cleveland with the advantage there, as in points in the paint. And Raptors also threw the ball away way too many times, Chuck. They gave up 14 points off of turnovers. Cleveland just gave up 4.
Our third quarter is sponsored by Hyundai. 55-53 Raptors. With Rose now with Gooden on him on the baseline, and 19-footer is good.
That's a good matchup. If Gooden stays on Rose, Rose is going to have that shot. If Gooden comes out, he'll have the first step.
Jalen leading the ball club in scoring with 15. It's been a quiet 15.
And that's always a good thing, Chuck.
Yes.
The quieter the number, the more efficient and the better shots you're taking.
So they double James to give it up and Eric Snow, and they will give him that shot all night long. Here's Jalen leaking out with a wraparound reverse.
Got to get down there, Chuck. 4 Cavaliers were down there on that miss. Only 1 Raptor, Mo Pete, made it down there.
Ilgauskas at 7-3. Not much you can do about that when he catches it that low with a smaller man on him.
Well, Chuck, 2 things happen. Raptors go down on the break. Nobody runs down. 4 Cavaliers make it. And then at the other end, you're giving up a basket to their big man right under the bucket. How does that happen? You didn't run on offense. You better be back on defense.
And Ilgauskas going to the free throw line for only the 3rd time in the ball game. He has 7 points. He's averaging a double-double this year against Toronto, Leo, 22 and 10, 54% from the floor.
Well, again, and he's been a non-factor primarily because LeBron's been putting up the numbers. And you have to remember, you don't want to let him get on track and everybody get going right now. Keep Ilgauskas out of his rhythm.
It's Rose again on the wing. And they go to Bosch with Newell playing behind him. He's got about 5 inches on Ira Newell with a pump. Did he walk? Yeah.
See, here's where Cleveland has the luxury of the big man, which we mentioned in the first half. Newell, this is a mismatch. Bosch can take advantage of him, but when he turns, he hesitates because he knows Ilgauskas is coming. He can hear the footsteps, and that forces the walk.
Well, option number 1 on this ball club, obviously, is LeBron James. Number 2, it probably would be Ilgauskas.
Yes.
And then Gooden. So let's see if they do go back to Ilgauskas with Lauren Woods draped on him, and a spin and a curl and a miss.
See, what you can tell right now, Cleveland is making an effort to get Ilgauskas involved in this game. I'm sure Paul Silas made a point of that. And you saw that last shot by Ilgauskas. That looks like a shot of a guy that hasn't taken a couple in a while and just doesn't feel real comfortable right now.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see how this new ownership group in Cleveland, Dan Gilbert, bought the ball club for $375 million, handle their first priority, and that is to re-sign Ilgauskas in the offseason.
Good time to sell Cleveland right after you have a superstar like LeBron James in the fold, Chuck. Your value of your franchise just happens to escalate.
Hey, listen, the Guns who sold the ball club, they know what was going on, and you know, Usher,
they hung in there for a long time.
Yes, they did, 20 years. But Usher has $50 million at stake in that franchise as well. He's been in a lot of Cavalier games, grabbing the microphone during the games, not singing, trying to urge his team onto a win, as he did the other night against Orlando. Now Newell kept it in play to Rose behind the back, and Bosch no-go on a dunk. Cavaliers looking for their first lead since 3-2 in the quarter. In the first quarter, Snow to Newell. He's not a threat whatsoever offensively. And they go back to Ilgauskas. Splits the defense. Shot rejected by CB4. That's number 87 on the year.
The last thing the Raptors want to do is see Chris Bosh on his back again.
James from the corner, the step back coming up, and the three is good.
If you remember when he came out of high school, everybody was questioning whether this young man's going to be able to shoot the ball. If he can make shots, then he can be a great player in this league, and he certainly has improved his jump shot.
Funny you should say that, Leo, because you played against Michael Jordan. The same rep was on him coming out of Carolina.
Even more so. Remember when Magic Johnson came into the NBA, he was the #1 pick, and he could not shoot the basketball. And he realized very quickly that if you don't have a jump shot, the rest of your game will be taken away by players in this league. And all of a sudden, he became a more than adequate shooter, could keep you honest with the long-range jumper, could get the pull-up jump shot, and that changed his whole perspective or his ability to compete in this league.
Chris Bosh got tied up and fouled, and he will go to the free throw line where he's got 5 points, 5 rebounds on the night, 21 minutes.
And Chris Bosh is 1 of 7 from the field. Much like we talk about keeping Ilgauskas in the game, if you're Cleveland, you want to keep Chris Bosh in the game. Now, we don't know how much of it is his back, how much of it the Raptors just not giving him his looks and Chris not demanding the ball, which we've seen this season.
Well, the Cavaliers are under the cap. There's no doubt about that. But they've got to take care of business. And there's been a great deal of speculation about Michael Redd, who's a hometown kid from Ohio, wanting to play with LeBron James.
Hey, how about Milwaukee clearing up a little cap room to keep Redd? Imagine if he does leave, they really put themselves in a tough spot.
Ilgauskas now in double figures. 61-59 Cavaliers. Rose working against Newell to Rafer. 3-ball. Bam! Rafer Alston. That's his 3rd triple of the game. And he's got double figures with 10.
Yeah, Raptors double figures in threes. 10 threes already.
10. Ilgauskas on the baseline. We've got a hold. So we'll go against Rafer Alston. So the combination of James and Ilgauskas, and James is on the record saying that he wants Ilgauskas back in Cleveland. And you know, LeBron James does carry a little bit of weight, I would think, in that franchise.
Hey, any good player wants a big man to be on the floor with them. Of course, other than Kobe Bryant. You look at Dwayne Wade in Miami, look at the way his career is thriving playing with Shaquille O'Neal.
Great for Alston. That took a lot of courage going up against the 7'3" Ilgauskas. And then Mo Peterson jumping over the row just to our left at courtside on the sideline.
You know, now only in an NBA game, Chuck. Great job by Rafer going right at the big fella Ilgauskas. But only in an NBA game, Chuck, would people be smiling when a guy 6'6", about 210, goes flying into your lap. That happens on the street, nobody's smiling, Chuck. Speechless, huh?
Yes, I am. Good. No. Rebound Peterson.
just waiting for somebody to
64-61 Raptors. Lauren Woods shooting over Augustus, counting it a foul. Lauren Woods starting for the first time since December the 29th in Phoenix for the rookie Javier Larujo, who came down with flu-like symptoms, and Woods with an opportunity for a three-point play.
Excellent job of just being aggressive. You're a big guy, you're long, go to the basket hard, see what happens. Remember, Hoffa told us the other night before the game that he wasn't feeling well. He talked about his ears being plugged and just really being under the weather in Detroit. And not a surprise that he's not available today.
Meantime, the Raptors on a 9-2 run. They've retaken the lead at 5. Nice pass from James to Double.
He sees everybody, and his teammates react. When you're playing with a great player that sees the floor, it gives you a lot of incentive to get open and get to the spots where he can find you.
You know, Leo, that was one of the first times we've seen a Cavalier player move without the ball. And I agree with you. I mean, James is very unselfish. I mean, he's got 32, but he'll give it up if he has to.
Not a good shot.
And here comes Eric Snow. Line to the lane. Ilgauskas passed up and open, look straight ahead from 16. You won't see that often. Now they're trying to screen and roll. There's a double on James coming. You want Newell to take a shot, and this one is a 3.
See, LeBron James poses a big dilemma. If you double him, somebody's open, and he's as good as anybody in this league at finding the open man. I think you're much better off not gambling, just getting up, playing good pressure defense on him, as opposed to doubling up and waiting for that open pass.
Gauss just altered that shot from Mo Peterson, who almost put it down. See, Leo, I don't mind doubling James. I mean, if you, the options are: would you rather have Ira Newell shooting a 3 or James jacking one?
Well, but you're still giving up open shots, and players in this league, Chuck, can make open shots.
TSN has the broadcast today. Raps and Cavaliers. Jack Armstrong at the game today. TSN Saturday will be in Atlanta. Raptors and Hawks, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Man of many costumes, that Mr. Armstrong. And you've got LeBron James, a man of many talents in more ways than one. Passing the ball, rebounding, assists.
Well, think about this. Only 4 players in NBA history averaged 25 and 7 and 7 in a season. Oscar Robertson, John Havlicek, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan. That's pretty good company to be keeping right there.
Are you saying that this guy has a chance to be a good player, I think?
He's all right.
He's all right.
He's all right.
And he's
considering he should be a sophomore in college right now.
Only 20 years young. That is scary. And you know what, Leo, he has handled it well. I mean,
remarkably well. You know, people criticize some of these guys sometimes, but put yourself as a 18 or 19-year-old, and give yourself $100 million and see how you're going to react and handle the whole thing, and all the global exposure where every movement you make is being watched and scrutinized. He's done an amazing job.
Ilgauskas, solid D by Lauren Woods. It'll be Cavalier ball. You know, talking about James with millions, there was a story that kind of floated out near the All-Star break that they would get him involved with a slam dunk contest, that a sponsor would give him $1 million. He says, hey, you know what? I don't need the millions. I don't need the millions. Okay.
I wake up every morning hoping to say that, Chuck.
16 on the clock. James, the open man is Ilgauskas, and the 15-footer is air.
Big Z just hasn't been able to get on track. Normally a very good shooter. That dangerous pass, Chuck. The longer you throw the bounce pass. And for the Raptors now, they've given up 17 points off 11 turnovers. You can see Sam Mitchell would like to take that one back. But the longer the bounce pass, the less chance that ball has of coming up. It skids instead of bounces. And you really have to be careful of that.
James against Peterson with a runner. He makes it look so easy. And LeBron James with 34.
You're right, and those are not easy shots.
No, they are not.
Shots you better spend a lot of time in the backyard, in the playground, in the gym working on to knock them down that easily.
He is 9 away from his career high. And Rafer Alston wants to go after Ira Newble. And we've got some issues going on the floor here.
Definitely a hard foul by Ira Newble.
And this crowd responding to Rafer Alston.
Well, let's see which team responds to this right now. Cleveland jumping in, the Raptors jumping in. Sam Mitchell talking to the officials. Watch the contact by Newble. Rafer doing the right thing, just blowing right by him. Once it goes up here, and definitely a hard foul. Not much effort to go after the ball in that play.
He grabbed the back of Ilgauskas'
well, you can see, watch the follow through right here. A definite effort to go at Rafer Alston.
Now, do you do a double tech?
Well, let's see how the officials, Michael Henderson right now explaining the decision of the scorer's table. Yeah, double technicals have been assessed on Newble and Rafer Alston.
Yep. So it's a 68-66 ball game. Cavaliers trying to snap an 8-game road losing streak.
Chuck, you know once you get in that rut how hard it is to snap one off, but you got to do the best you can. Right now, the Cavs seem to be turning this game around.
Alston with a ball fake on Ilgauskas. Woods with the putback. 68 apiece.
I like what Lauren Woods is giving the Raptors right now, Chuck. He's changed his game a little bit. He's becoming much more aggressive and just going after it. And that's all Sam Mitchell wants him to do. Just play big.
8 on the clock. Gooden against Bosch. Oh,
see,
goodness.
You got to realize who you're playing against. Bosch did a great job of forcing Gooden almost into the corner to get the ball. Once he gets there, then you back off. You have him where you want him. You rather him shooting there than beating you on the drive on the baseline.
Bosch had the ball taken out of his hands by Gooden on excellent recovery by Drew Gooden. Bosch had visions of making a move to the rim.
A nice job playing with his feet, just trying to get ahead of the offensive play.
Peterson, the dish to Woods, and he got hacked and fouled.
But doing the right thing. Nice job by both Peterson and Lauren Woods, just going up and saying, hey, you may get a piece of this one, but I'm going to the free throw line. All starts with Mo Peterson making LeBron James work. The help comes over. Somebody's open.
Beautiful delivery by Mo Pete. As Woods going to the free throw line for the second time on the season, a 58% shooter.
Like a little bit more legs in that free throw.
Leo, this is an area that I would think Woods will work on in the offseason.
Oh, you need to. Especially if you're a big fella. You know, you're just going to get knocked around a little bit. You have to be able to make free throws when you get to the line if you want to get those extra minutes.
Cavaliers with the ball, leading by 1 late third quarter. On the floor for the Raptors, Peterson, Woods, Rose, Marshall, and Alston. James, who has 34, giving it up to Ilgauskas. On the left block. And it's Eric Snow. And it went off Eric out of bounds. Sometimes you look at Ilgauskas' offensive game and he's too unselfish there.
You're right, and I think he also should have a little bit more focus of being a 7-footer and making something happen around the basket, but he does like to step out.
It's Snow down the floor, LeBron James to the rim and a foul.
One extra dribble there by Snow, Chuck. He saw LeBron James, took an extra dribble before he got it to him. When you got a guy like LeBron on the wing, give him the ball and let him go.
Let him fly. You're absolutely correct. 70-69. Cavs. And welcome back to the ACC. Chuck Swirsky along with Leo Rounds. Vic Rounder filling in for the Ailey, Norma Wick, and Norma, get back soon. We miss you. And let's take a look at our Hyundai Drive to Win.
Well, LeBron James, he has been the man for the Cleveland Cavaliers, scoring from deep, finding the open man, whether it's Ira Newble or anybody else. He will get the ball to them. 5 assists in the game, going to the bucket as well. 34 points overall for LeBron James. Now, Chuck, when you're playing with a guy like LeBron James, you want to give him the ball, as we talked about going into that break, with an ability to make a move on his own because he's just so explosive. Watch what happens if we can cue up that last play with Eric Snow when he had the ball in his hands. Watch him. He's going to get the rebound right here. And as he catches it, I want you to freeze it right there. He's already looking. Over here is LeBron James ahead of Lauren Woods. That's when the pass has to be made. As he catches it, he's got to turn and just throw that pass. Instead, he takes one more dribble. But now, see, when LeBron gets it, he's got Jalen Rose in front of him, and also allows Lauren Woods to come over there. Now, even though there's some contact on the play, a guy like LeBron, if you give it to him as soon as you see him, he is gone. Neither Rose nor Woods, nobody is going to catch him.
Excellent illustration, because this guy, with a full head of steam, he is dangerous. Believe me.
He's ridiculous.
Yes, he is.
Well, Coach Mitchell wants the Raptors to attack the basket a little bit more. Leo, the thought being that James defensively isn't as good as he is offensively, and if he's forced to then play some defense, it might take him out of his offensive game.
Absolutely, Vic. That's a great strategy. They always say, you want to stop a good offensive player, put a better one on him, or to say the principle being that you want to make an offensive player work at the defensive end, hopefully take some of his offense away from him. And also, you're forcing LeBron James to get more aggressive. And when the help does come, if he does get beat, if he is a liability at all defensively, that's going to open up something for somebody. And we've seen that every time Ilgauskas has come over, an open man has been found.
Leo, we had a chance to hear from John Wooden, the legendary UCLA coach in Southern California earlier this season. He said your best offensive player should be your best defensive player.
And if you ask the question why, well, think of the things you have to know as an offensive player. You read so many things. You take advantage of weaknesses. That knowledge you have as an offensive player, if you apply it to defense, should make you a tremendous defensive player.
72-69 Cavaliers. Eric Snow starting in place of Jeff McGinnis, who's been a no-show today. He's on the bench in part. Eric Snow, tough shot. Snow is now 0 for 4.
Yeah, and that's not a good way to get on track, taking shots like that.
And here's Danielle going for number 5. You can read it up.
Poor communication on that pick and roll between Gooden and Snow. And Gooden's actually been caught in several of those, a lot more of those in the first half than here in the second. Let's see if the Raptors can get a little bit more there.
They go to Gooden. He wants to put a body on Marshall on the block. Jump hook. Rejected by Danielle Marshall.
He surprises so many offensive players. They just don't expect him to get it, but he's got those long arms.
Now it's Alston directing traffic.
Again, a pick and roll.
To Jalen Rose. He's going to jack up the 3. Big buddy.
See what happens, Chuck. Everybody's thinking about Danielle Marshall. And when Rafer Alston comes off that screen, he's got the option of either trying to get Danielle, taking the shot himself, or going to the bucket, or taking it to the other side of the floor with another shooter ready to go, this time Jalen Rose. We saw that with Bonner in the first half, Chuck, when he was spotted up.
Ilgauskas putting up a wild reverse. Raps on a 7-2 run. Rose again. Way off the mark.
See, that's one of those shots where you're going, nah, you really don't want to take it. But you know what? He made his last one. He's feeling good. Does he give it a shot? So as a coach, you kind of have to decide whether you're going to start yelling and screaming or just say, all right, well, we gambled on that.
Hopso played 6 minutes in the first half. Check it in.
And I thought it was a good 6 minutes, Chuck.
Watch the ball now.
He had 2 rebounds and very aggressive, challenging shots. LeBron James.
Well, this is his ball game, folks, and if the Cavaliers are going to win, they're going to have to ride him and give him the rock.
Well, again, I think that if the Raptors are going to win, it's not a bad thing if LeBron keeps scoring as long as it's a little harder, but you got to watch out for these other guys and don't give up the ball in turnovers.
Alston.
Oh, tough shot.
5 seconds remaining. Here's James going upstairs. And Newble is fouled as he yanked the ball above the rim. And some talk going on now with Alston and Newble.
Got to be careful right here. Michael Henderson, one of the officials stepping in right now. Rafer doing a lot of John. He was going for a little payback on that.
Yeah, he certainly was. And well, Rafer already has a tech.
Exactly. I can't believe they're not giving Newble a couple of shots here. They're saying that foul must have been on the ground.
And Paul Silas is in midcourt saying what's going on with 1.3 seconds remaining. Here's Ilgauskas with the turnaround. And at the end of 3, 75-74 Raptors. So James having a conversation with official Michael Henderson. We'll sort it. Welcome back on TSN, our Speed Stick 5-minute third quarter stats.
Well, Cleveland not sizzling right now. Neither Raptors. They've really cooled off. 3-point field goals. Raptors been very effective there. Cleveland very efficient. 5 of 8. Points in the paint, huge advantage. Plus 14 for the Cavs. How about the fast break points, Chuck? Plus 15 for Cleveland. Remember, they had 0 fast break points against Philadelphia the other night. There's a guy that used to be able to run.
Whoa, Austin Carr still holds, Leo, the NCAA single game record for most points in the game. They did not shoot threes in the 70s. He had 61 against the Ohio U Bobcats.
He was an amazing player. Score from anywhere on the floor. Now does the color work for the Cleveland Cavaliers TV.
Great player at Notre Dame. And Donyell Marshall, his UConn Huskies got beat today by NC State.
Yeah,
the Big East is taking a big bath.
Yeah, only Villanova and West Virginia left.
Think about that, the job John Beilein has done at West Virginia.
Yeah, he's done a tremendous job. Hey, he started out undefeated, then had a big skid, now they're back. Not a good shot there. LeBron James tried to draw the foul on. But he didn't bite.
Pop came out to play him high.
But look at this, he's challenging. He's not afraid. He stays there and just gets out of the way in time. LeBron thought he'd draw the foul, but the official said,
Yeah, poor decision by LeBron. 75-74 Raptors. Rose against Gooden. I think he can beat him off the bounce.
What I like to get it. Nice job of getting in, and even though he made that shot, Pop was right there, Chuck. He was waiting for that ball to come off the rim. He's just an aggressive rebounder.
Here's Gooden against Bosch, and up and under on a reverse.
Sweet move.
That's a sweet move. That was beautiful. Gorgeous.
Put the right English on, going to the other side of the glass.
77-76 Raptors. Raptors trying to take care of business at home. Cavaliers just need a win of any kind, especially on the road where they've lost 8 straight. Here's Milt, the former Cavalier, threw it behind Bosch to Jalen Rose with 7 ticks on the clock. And again, working against Gooden on the bounce, shooting over Ilgauskas. Pretty good. How many of those has he had today?
Jalen Rose looks like he's getting into one of those zones, Chuck, where he's going to want the ball. He's 9 of 17. He's got 22. Much better offensive effort than he had in Detroit.
Just pass deflected. Now James is going to have to hustle. You got 4 on the shot clock. LeBron fires it up. You got to be kidding me. LeBron James.
It was impressive, Chuck. As that ball was rolling over half court, he looked up, saw how much time was on the clock, knew that he had to get it up there and take the shot. Knew everything that was happening and what he had to do.
79-78 Raptors. James with 40. Jess Kersey says Raptors turn it over.
Great job. He saw the clock. Now he knows what he's got to do. Going to go right at the defense. A little behind the back and bang. Knock him down.
He is worth the price of admission. And again, we can talk all the hype you want about these athletes. We make them superstars, and I'm as guilty as anyone overnight. But this guy is the real deal, period.
To be very honest, he exceeded my expectations. I knew he was going to be good, Chuck, but how this good, this fast, he is just amazing.
79-78 Raptors. Donyell Marshall, who owns 5 triples in this game, to Milt Palacio. Here's Milt. And you can count it in a foul.
Great job of getting into the paint. Palacio keeping that ball up, moving it around a little bit to try to draw the foul. Raptors right now, Chuck, they're in a good situation in this game. Again, we're talking about LeBron and the numbers he's putting up, but they can just tighten things up a little bit defensively, continue to penetrate and attack on offense, and just make sure no surprises, nobody else steps up. You know what LeBron's doing right now, just don't let anybody else step up. The Raptors can take this home if they work hard.
Yes, they can. And Leo, you look at this Cavalier ball club. Again, we have not seen Jeff McGinnis today. They've got some issues at the point. If they expect to make the playoffs and then win a round, they got to get that thing settled out.
Yes, they do.
Jerry Walsh to Robert Traylor. The pitch goes back to Walsh. Drop it against Bosch.
See, you force a tough shot, but you give up the rebound. Sal's in everything, Chuck. How about this? Sam Mitchell's got him guarding LeBron. Send him out there, just make him work, be aggressive. He's going after loose balls. I love what this young man does.
You gotta love it when players go to the floor and get some burns. 6'8", 7'2", 5,000. From Senegal, and he speaks 5 languages fluently, and he was drafted 2nd round, and they are very high on his upside. Leo, what does he give Toronto?
Just an aggressive player. He's a very athletic, undersized, a little bit power player, but he goes after everything. He's very raw, still has a huge upside, but he's kind of like a mini Ben Wallace. And I'm not saying that to put pressure on the guy or compare him directly to Ben Wallace, but he has the same type of mentality. Go after shots, go after rebounds, whether offense or defense, and he's not afraid of who he's covering, as he's shown it playing against LeBron James.
Raptors' 7th sellout of the season, 19,800. They've been averaging 17,000 on the year. 10 on the clock. Here's James. Oh, my goodness! That is a SportsCenter highlight. King James taking off and eating some iron here in Toronto.
Well, Pop made a little bit of a mistake there, Chuck. He was aggressive, but too aggressive, getting too tight out in the perimeter. But the question is, where were his teammates? Nobody stepped up. They all watched the show.
I mean, I'll tell you what, that dunk hurts me.
But watch Pop right there. He's giving the drive, and he just opens up. And when you open up that easily, remember, you want to make that player go through you, go around you. When you open up, that doesn't give help a lot of time to get there. LeBron taking it home.
And then some. It is 81-80 Raptors by 1 with 8:14 remaining.
The Raptors have missed 6 free throws in this game, Chuck. And this game is too close to err in that direction. They had a little discussion, Bosch and Pop had a little discussion about how to play defensively. Pop was looking for help, and Chris Bosch was saying, hey, I can't help you if you open up like that.
Change again against Pop. So
he did it again, Chuck.
In the paint, he's sent to the floor and Pop's right back.
Yeah. But he did it again. He made the same mistake. He opened up, and this time he compounded it by reaching. Watch right here. He reaches, and as soon as you reach, it's over. You're a big guy, you're athletic, stay in front of your man.
We have a timeout, President's Choice, Raptors basketball on TSN. Coming up next on TSN, the CIS basketball men's final. Carlton against Concordia. And one of the kids that lives in my neighborhood in Burlington, John Marshall, plays ball at Carlton. And really enjoys that program, enjoys the campus life in Ottawa.
Oh, tremendous program, man. Jacks, we're winning 76 straight games, back-to-back Canadian championships. They play hard. They play with such intensity. Very intelligent, high basketball IQ on the floor for Dave Smart's team.
What about this matchup with Pop's
Pop's just gambling, Chuck. He's not taking advantage of what his strengths are, being athletic and having size. He's opening up to LeBron, and that's really hurting him. Let's see what Vic has for us.
Well, you know, Coach Mitchell could be your dad. He comes to the bench. He says, how many times do I have to tell you, fellas? When you know he's at the top of the key, you've got to fill the lane. You can't let him have that free drive. And he also pointed out to Sal, and Leo, you know this better than anyone. Give him the other shoulder. He was giving him the right shoulder all the time. Force the left shoulder.
Exactly. Good point, Vic. Very important to just, again, you want to keep your man in front of you. When you have the size, the wingspan, and athleticism of a Pop Sal, you got to be able to do that. That's why you're on the floor.
Rose against Yuri Walsh to the iron and a foul. Robert Traylor commits it. Meantime, for those of you keeping score at home, and Leo, I know you do, 44 points is a career high for LeBron James as Robert Tractor Traylor is looking up, trying to come up with some way to stop former Michigan Wolverine in Jalen Rose.
Again, Jalen Rose is starting to get that look in his eye as this fourth quarter is nearing the midway point, Chuck. He wants to get ball in his hands. He wants to try to get to the bucket. And I still say it, the Raptors, despite LeBron's numbers, Chuck, if they can just make it a little bit more difficult for him, the Raptors are still in good shape here.
Yuri Walsh had the ball poked out of his hands. It rolls loose. Here's Jalen Rose against LeBron James for this to Palacio. Rimmed out for the putback on the trailer. Danielle Marshall with 19.
There's a veteran player. Never give up on a play. Even if it looks like your teammates may have a layup, until that ball goes down, don't give up on a play. You got an easy bucket out of it.
Yuri Walsh is playing without any confidence whatsoever.
You're right. He looks scared to handle the ball. He's looking at the officials for fouls, but he's got to do a better job of taking care of it.
Well, he's going to be taken out of the ball game. Here's Lucius Harris from the corner. No. And we're going to have a loose ball foul against Traylor. The Cavaliers have become unglued, and that's why it's come down now to LeBron James. And the only way they're going to win this game is because of LeBron James. Nobody has stepped up for the Cavaliers on an occasion, maybe Gooden, maybe Ilgauskas, but it's that man right there that's going to have to get it done.
Well, Chuck, I think he's going to have his teammates, Gooden and Ilgauskas. They're back in the game as well, and they're going to have to get their touches. LeBron James is going to have to make an effort. Obviously, unless, of course, the Raptors continue to give him the easier pass to the basket, he's going to have to make an effort to get them involved down the stretch.
Raptors in the bonus with Bosch at the free throw line. It is up and good. Bosch, 6 of 7 from the line. He has only 1 field goal in 7 attempts this afternoon.
Yeah, he just hasn't had enough shots. And again, I don't want to jump on that simply because I don't know exactly how his back is feeling right now. But he's looked pretty mobile at the defensive end anyway, and I think Chris Bosch has got to get some touches.
Raptors trying to take care of business here in front of a sellout crowd against the Cavalier ball club that is on a free fall right now. They're not playing well. They've got some issues with their point guard situation. And it's Captain Crunch, Jalen Rose giving it up. Marshall kept alive by Bonner. The open man is Rose for 3. And this is open territory for James. Gooden, rimmed out, he'll shoot 2.
Now see where Gooden got the ball. We talked about this earlier. He got in the short corner. Daniel Marshall stayed inside this time. Remember, Bosch committed on him. But look where Marshall, he stays in there. And Gooden doesn't want to take the shot. He still wants to force his way into the lane. So you got to understand who you're playing against. Daniel Marshall did a much better job than Bosch earlier in the same situation.
And Jeff McGinnis is just chilling, Leo.
Yeah, obviously a message being sent.
Oh, yes.
To the point guard of the Cleveland Cavaliers saying, hey, if you're not going to play the way we need you to play, you're not going to play.
McGinnis is a free agent at the end of the year. They have a team option on his contract. And, you know, according to published reports in Northeast Ohio, Cavaliers may not exercise that.
And it's sad, Chuck, because when he plays focus, when he comes out there to play, he really makes a difference on this ball club.
Now on a switch, Rose really wants to go after Snow. Again, rivals in college in the Big Ten. They're very accustomed to playing against one another.
Nice job by Bonner coming to meet that pass, Chuck. And if he not stepped in, that would have been a turnover. So many times the difference in a ball, a turnover happening and not happening is the receiver coming to meet the pass, and Bonner did just stand around and wait. He came to get it, and that prevented LeBron James from stealing the ball.
Now, Lear, you have 1 second on the clock. So what kind of, I mean, give me an option you can run here.
Just somebody off the screen, get it up.
Donyell Marshall.
Got a good look.
Yep. 88-84 Raptors, 5:42 remaining. James with a career-high 44 today against the Raptors. LeBron, the fade, the fire.
See, that's a good shot to make and take. I don't care how you're shooting. You're fading away like that. Percentages are going against you.
Rose to Milton. Flat. Rebound, Gooden. Down the floor, leaking out LeBron James with the slam.
Now, see, that is not Palacios' fault. He takes that shot. You have to have balance on the floor. Somebody's got to, instead of going to the offensive glass, somebody's got to rotate back. Everybody releases on the shooter. That's standard practice in this league.
Bosch, contact. He will shoot 2. Appearances number 9 and 10 at the free throw line.
Chuck, it's the little things that can make a difference down the stretch of the ball game. When a shot goes up in this league, people will contest the shot, they'll get a hand up, and then they're gone. They release. And if you don't have balance coming from somewhere on the floor, you're going to give up layups. And the Raptors right now, coming down the stretch, cannot afford to give anything easy up.
You are correct as Bosch going to the line. But, Leo, having said this, the Cavaliers, they got to make some stops of their own. They have not shown that they're able to, you know, put the Raptors even given any distance. Their biggest lead of the game has been 3.
No, absolutely. I mean, Cleveland's got to show that they can defend, and right now they're making things a little easier for the Raptors and putting them on the line.
I mean, if I'm Sam Mitchell, then I'm sure they're concerned about James, but I don't care if he's got 55. You shut down Ilgauskas or Gooden, you're going to win this game.
Gee, sounds like an IBMP to me.
They want to post up with Ilgauskas with a screen and roll. Now 2 on the clock. LeBron's going to have to force it up. Oh, my, you got to be kidding me. It's got 48.
Now, see, when that happens, there's nothing you can do about it. I mentioned the fadeaway he took the previous time. You want to encourage shots like that. But the problem is you give a guy too many easy looks, he believes he can make anything at this point.
For those of you watching on TSN and around the world on the satellite dish, you're about to experience LeBron James' first 50-point NBA game. He's got 4:10 remaining, but more importantly for the Raptors, they lead 92-88 when it's all said and done. For Toronto, that's what it's all about.
But if you think about it, Chuck, 50 points, if LeBron gets that mark, I mean, the Cavaliers only have 88 as a team. That means a lot of guys are not getting involved in this game. And if you want guys to be involved at the defensive end, you better involve them at the offensive end.
The franchise record for a Cavalier is 50, set by Walt Wesley in the early 70s.
Now look at this shot right here. You get a screen and Bosch right there in his face. LeBron on an angle behind the backboard, fading away in the corner, still knocking it down.
So Marshall at the free throw line for the first time of the game. Donyell on the season at 80%. Raptors as a team, 18 of 24.
Boy, those missed free throws. They could really come back and hunt the Raptors down in the final few minutes here. Close game like this, you have to make them.
Yes, you do. I think we should put Donyell 25 feet away from the rim. He'll make that. Donyell, we're making an exception for you. You're shooting free throws behind the arc.
Funny thing about it, Chuck, it just might be better for him.
Newble.
Oh, boy, see. He doesn't take a lot of shots, and you might want to encourage that shot, but Newble drops it.
93-90, a one-possession game in favor of the Raptors. Again, they want to go after Eric Snow, and it's Jalen Rose with a face-up. Putting it on the net. On a spin, twisty move in the paint to the cup. Offensive rebound, Marshall, and a stick back off window.
Marshall knew what was happening the whole time Jalen Rose was trying to get his shot off. He was jockeying for position, trying to get Ilgauskas out of the way so he can get that rebound.
Newble again.
And that's what you want to do, Chuck. You see that? For Newble to start taking consecutive shots down the stretch of a ball game, that's not in Cleveland's game plan.
No, it is not. And nor should it be. 95-90 Raptors. Again, they go right back with Rose.
And again, Donyell Marshall Great job.
On a reverse, Danielle Marshall. Every day is Sunday for Danielle.
24 points, 10 rebounds, getting it done.
His 12th double-double. He had a career high a week ago. You gotta love Sunday with Danielle. President's Choice Raptors Bowl, our next 3 games. Rogers Sportsnet, Raptors NBA TV with the Chicago Bulls on The Score on Friday in Philadelphia, and then TSN in Atlanta on Saturday. And what about Danielle Marshall? A week ago, tied an NBA record with 12 triples and a career high, 38.
But everybody pays attention to the triples. They're a big factor. They stretch the defense out. And Danielle Marshall, teams don't make the proper adjustments at times, but his teammates also give him great looks and find a way to get him the ball. But in today's game, Chuck, Danielle Marshall took advantage of his length, got inside. Instead of being a spectator when that shot goes up, he's working, he's fighting, he's trying to get position. 4 offensive rebounds out of his 10 overall, and 24 big points, helping the Raptors down the stretch here. Jalen Rose trying to get everybody in the building going for a final push.
And a sellout, 97-90 Raptors, 2:36 remaining. LeBron James with 48 points, a career high. Holding and looking. James puts it on the floor. He wants it. He can feel it. And he's got 50, his first NBA 5-0.
And again, the shots are getting tougher and tougher down the stretch, but he is on a roll.
97-92 Raptors. Rose isolated against Ira Newble. Backing in, forces up the shot. Ribby got it! Captain Crunch! Jalen Rose with 28.
What a touch. Just gets it to the rim, Chuck. He knows if he gets it to the rim, he's going to have a chance for that ball to drop.
Tell you what, Leo, that rim just to our right has been so kind to Jalen Rose, he should take it home with him. And LeBron with 53, and that sets the Cavalier franchise record for most points in a single game.
Oh, that is ridiculous, Chuck. He is making incredible shots right now.
99-95, a 2-possession game for the Raptors with 90 seconds remaining. Alston, pitch out. Bonner on the drive against Ilgauskas. And it's back Bonner, and the Red Rockets going to dribble it out. Now that is hustle.
Once again, it's Danielle Marshall and Chris Bosh in there along with Bonner keeping that ball alive. Great effort on the offensive boards.
This is the ball game right here for the Cavaliers with a defensive stop, and the Raps can put it away with a hoop. Rose backing in, fades, fires. Get out the salami and cheese, mama. This ball game is over. 63 seconds to go. Raptors 101 and the Cavaliers 95. Jalen Rose, Captain Crunch. With the game on the line, he always comes through. Our Gatorade Game X Factor today. Well, we owe Gatorade on this one, Leo.
Hey, this is a tough one right here. Robert Traylor had a huge game against the Raptors last time out, a non-factor in 7 minutes today. And Lauren Woods actually did a nice job.
Yes, he did.
In limited minutes for Toronto.
Well, we love our Gatorade, and we thank them for that sponsorship. But today it's been Jalen Rose.
Well, Jalen Rose has made some amazing shots down the stretch. Somehow finds a way to score. We said at the start of the 4th quarter, he just had this look in his eye that it was his time. And despite LeBron James, 53 points, Chuck, Jalen Rose has stepped up, and he has his team with a 6-point lead coming down to the final 103. Chuck, LeBron James has scored 56% of Cleveland's points in this game. That is not a good number.
No.
And that is the reason the Raptors have a lead in this ballgame. He's having a spectacular game, but this team relies on him making everybody around him better.
I wonder who's going to get a touch. It's LeBron. Gooden. A 3-ball where he's been horrible this season.
Yeah, and that's not where he needs to shoot. And much like Ira Newble, but Ira Newble getting a big rebound now.
Gooden is 2 for 19 behind the arc. Here's James for 3. You got to be kidding me. Are you kidding me? LeBron James with 56.
Wow, this is an absolutely spectacular performance. Unbelievable.
101-98.
Raps got to use as much of the clock as they can to see if they can get another pick and roll going down to the hoop here, Chuck.
Alston with 6 ticks on the drive. Under seconds. Great for Alston. That was big time for Raper. James threw it away. 14 seconds remaining. LeBron slipped to the floor. Has come up a little bit gimpy. Raper with the steal, and LeBron trying to walk it off. LeBron James with 56 points, but it's not going to be enough.
LeBron lost his footing as he tried to come up, misstepped, little contact early. The officials no call there, and the Raptors check. LeBron James has put up spectacular numbers. I mean, absolutely spectacular. 56 points in this game. But the Cleveland Cavaliers as a team have not been able to do anything defensively against the Raptors.
And LeBron really going after it. It frustrated LeBron James with Michael Henderson. I mean, he's going to get on that plane back to Cleveland with 56 points in his pocket and a Cavalier loss. This will be their 9th straight road loss, and they're taking a tumble in the Eastern Conference playoff race. We'll return in a moment here at the Air Canada Center. 105.98 Raptors on TSN. The 56 points scored by LeBron, the most by an opposing player against the Raptors in franchise history. And again, this is the last sequence with James getting it done late fourth quarter, and he was filling it up.
You know, earlier the Raptors made a lot of mistakes defensively against James. But, Chuck, I'm not going to take anything away from this kid down the stretch.
No.
He's had people in his face. He's fading away. He's got everybody trying to stop him, and he is knocking down one shot after the other. Raptors caught a break. James was talking to the officials saying, hey, wait a minute, they're riding me. I'm being ridden down the court. There was some contact. He misstepped, turned it over. Raptors came away with the ball. Great job by Rafer here. Ira Newble attempting to stop. Couldn't do it. A little contact there. No call. Rafer getting the bucket.
So the Raptors in control here. And, you know, for the sellout crowd, they wanted to come see LeBron. And he did not.
They got the best of both worlds.
They absolutely did.
56-point LeBron performance and a Raptors win.
Yes.
But again, I'm going to go back to what I said before. LeBron James scoring over 50% of their points is not good for this team. And one of the keys to the game was let LeBron get his. Don't let everybody else get theirs. In the first half, the Raptors made mistakes and let players like Gooden get off. But the second half, it's been all LeBron. And unfortunately for Cleveland, it's been all Raptors as well. LeBron, no. Tapped out. Comes to James. 5 seconds remaining. LeBron again for 3. No. And this ball game is over. Raptors win. Raptors win. Raptors win. Despite the 56 of LeBron James, the Raptors get it done to improve to 28-38. LeBron James' first 50-point game of his NBA career. But the Cavaliers lose for the 9th straight time on the road. It dropped to 34-30. Well, LeBron James had his 56, but Jalen Rose had 30. Daniel Marshall had a double-double, 24 and 10. And the Raptors team survived a spectacular individual performance. And that's what it's all about, team. Let's go to Vic and Jalen.
Jalen, that is, I suspect, one of the more satisfying wins because it was, well, all aspects seemed to come together.
It was definitely a team win. Our crowd was in the game. Anytime the crowd is pumped up as it was, it gives us adrenaline to go out and play well. Obviously, LeBron James had a phenomenal game, but we were able to offset that with a team victory.
Well, the other thing is, too, sometimes you end up watching a performance like that. While you may have watched it, you still responded.
Yeah, you got to get out there and play. You understand he's a real good player. He's one of the best players in our league this season, and he's going to have spectacular nights. Unfortunately, one was against us, but we'll take the victory.
30 points for you. Nice double for you. This team, one game at a time. It's too cliche, but that's what it is now.
That's what it has to be. In our division, you know, you're 4 or 5 games away from being in the 7th spot, so you kind of keep a focus, maintain a medal of hard play, and then look up at the standards at the end of the season and hope we're there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
All right, Vic and Jalen, thanks very much. An exciting victory today for the Raptors. Glad you could be a part of it right here on TSN.